reach for the stars, 'cause we're aiming high.
Hey, what's up you guys? It's your boy James Anzo Jones. Welcome to either Fitness Motivation or Fitness Monday or Motivational Monday, either way you like to call it. And I'm going to start this video off with my fitness journey. Now, this journey I like in particular because this is about perseverance, right? I started way back in 2008, but the real journey really begins in 2017. Now, what happened in 2017? Well, I was almost literally nearly living in LA for a year because I'm from Dallas. So from March 2016 to February 2017, I was living in Los Angeles, and I learned very quickly that fitness is very important. And unfortunately, I had to leave because of family issues. Now, going back to Dallas, I did not like to do because number one, in LA, you didn't really need a car. In Dallas, you needed a car. That was my biggest issue. And because of certain issues and certain reasons, I never was able to learn how to drive, right? So now I'm dealing with the family issues. Something was going on, something kind of tragic was going on. And it was an ongoing thing. And then no car. Then I'm living with 3 other people because I live with some roommates. I transferred my Los Angeles job to Dallas because the company was still the same, but I had no car, which means I had to take the bus all the way to a Pacific job, and it took 3 buses to get there. Because I had no car, no license, right? Fitness was on my mind regardless, and so I kind of talked to a roommate of mine, so we wanted to do the same thing. The only problem was he wasn't consistent, and he was only going 2 days a week. And if the person has a vehicle and you're driving with that person, that means you can only go when that person goes, right? So if he only went 2 days, that means I can only go 2 days. I tried to go driving around the park, but after a while it just wasn't good enough for me, right? And on top of that, my diet still sucked. So I came to the conclusion that this may not particularly work for me and the roommate and I. So I found out that there was a gym down the street, 20-minute walking distance, but like a 2-minute drive, right? But again, no vehicle, right? So I try to do it 2 ways. I would either try to catch the earliest bus, which is at 5 a.m. in the morning, because I started my job always in the morning for the most part, and possibly closed on a Friday night. But anyways, I would try to go in the morning to catch that first bus, go to the gym, walk to work, or leave in the evening and walk to the gym, and possibly may not get back home until 10 o'clock. The thing about the bus is that after a certain period of time, in the evening it probably goes every hour instead of every half hour. And that could either anything could go wrong with the buses. If you miss a bus, you could still be not getting home until 10 o'clock because, again, it delays everything else because you're taking 3 buses. So that can either happen in the morning or in the evening. If you miss a bus or a bus doesn't show up on time, that messes up the whole of the plan, right? So I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do this. It's too much work. Towards the end of December 2017, I'm looking in the mirror. That thick daddy is coming out even more. I'm feeling sorry for myself. I'm going out eating junk food, being a bum, just not living the life that I want to live, right? Who knew, right? So then, beginning of 2018, I said, I need to learn how to drive. I need to get in shape. I'm going to give myself 5 months. I'm going to give myself to May to get in a good shape, the best shape I can possibly get into. And I went completely cold turkey, starting in around the end of December. So beginning of January, I remember waking up, saying I'm going to take this morning bus, right, to go to the gym. This I'm going to do it. And I remember it was so cold, and I was like, oh my God. And I started to doubt myself a little bit, right? And I'm just like, no. You got to push through it. You got to push through it, big boy. Or, you got to push through it, right? So I walked to the gym and walked to work that day in ice. I'm just like, oh my God, right? And then I had to close that day. So then it's cold, and it's cold at night. I'm getting aggravated and hungry because I've just depleted myself of just bad food for the most part, right? Looking at the weight scale, just getting paranoid, and then turn to find out that throughout this, that the scale doesn't even go down. That doesn't necessarily mean fat. That could just be water weight. It can go either way, right? So, and then on top of that, I was looking up fitness stuff, asking different trainers because I couldn't pay them, but I could ask for advice. So all that was going on, and then on top of that, learning how to drive, and then on top of that, dealing with the issues of my family member, right? So I'm just like, okay, and this was going on for a good 2 months. Come March, I kind of had my little cheat day. I learned how to do pull-ups, which made my workout easier. And then I had to learn how to adapt to schedule changes because my job started changing my schedule a couple of times, which kind of ruined my fitness regimen and this and that. This was a crazy 2 months, first 2 months, basically, right? So now, here comes March. I'm doing pull-ups. I'm doing all these things. I'm not necessarily losing too much fat like I thought I was, but it was a good start for me. So March was like that breaking point for me. Like, okay, I'm getting in the habit of doing this, right? And I started off going 3 days, 2 to 3 days, starting off in January, and then to March it was like 4 to 5 days, right? By May I had learned how to drive really good. And by June, I had got my driver's license, and I was going to the gym almost, like I said, 5 days a week. And kind of enjoying myself a little bit, just feeling a little bit better. I didn't necessarily get in the shape that I wanted to like I thought I would, because I learned that your body takes a little longer, depending on your metabolism, but it was a great, great start. By August, I ended up moving, for particular events, I ended up moving from my roommates back in with my sister, to take care of a family member. I thought it was more convenient for me because at that time, on the weekends when I was living with my roommates, I was going to take care of my family member anyway. So I was like, well, this is not a big deal. I'm going to be here more often anyway, right? So it just made more sense to just live over there and take care of that family member. But then I get hit with some news that, hey, you possibly may have to soon move out and take care of the family member. So I'm just like, okay, the job that I had before, I need to find a new job because that money is not supporting for just, it doesn't even support one person. And so I had to find a job that could support 2 people for the most part, right? So then I ended up moving to this another job. And the good thing about it was you can take a bus. But the problem with that, because even though it took one bus, the problem with the shifts were it started at 4 and it was done by 11 to 12. Well, the buses stopped by 12 something. And so by the time I was done, I missed the bus. And Lyft was too expensive, right? So I said, okay, I'm just gonna go through the motions with this. I'm going to sleep in the break room until 3 or 4 o'clock, walk to the nearest bus stop, and get home before 6. So I get home before 6, go to sleep, and then kind of help my family member out and go to the nearest playground because since I got a new job, there's no gym near there, and there's really no means of transportation for me, so I had to just go to the playground and catch a lift to the nearest gym where my family members were living at on the weekends. See, at least the first place I worked at, I can go to the gym and go to the job. Here, I couldn't do that. So luckily I had the pull-up strength to just go to the monkey bars, and do pull-ups and do my little jump rope and get to it and catch the nearest bus, right? So then things got convenient to where I had a mean of transportation by the end of December 2018, right? So things are going good. I'm going to the gym 5 days a week like I used to a while back, but this time in a vehicle. The beginning of 2019, things are starting to get good. I'm reuniting with everybody. I'm just going to 2-3 different gyms, just getting things. Things are seem to go a little pretty decent. And on top of that, I get to another position to where I'm getting paid even more. So I didn't really have to worry much about rent, because now the money's providing for 2 people. Because that was the whole purpose, was to get another position at the new job so the money could provide for 2 people. Well, the unfortunate happened. By March, the family member that I was taking care of passed away. And I was just devastated. And almost traumatized because I couldn't believe this happened. I was doing all this work, everything, right? Everything in hopes that this person will still be here. That did not happen. The first thing I did the day after they passed, I went to the gym. And I just kept pushing harder. And I started going to the gym more and more. And I was losing more weight because the job was manual labor. And then I'm going to the gym. I'm just like, I gotta stay focused. I don't want to get depressed. I've been depressed when I lose a family member. And I tend to eat a lot. That's how I gained the first weight the first time around. Because I was depressed with a previous family member. So I'm just like, okay, just keep pushing, keep pushing. I saved some money, got connected with a friend of mine's. We went to LA and shot that video, this fitness video. But then I'm just like, okay, what to do now? I'm still thinking about the death of a family member. The job is kind of exhausting me. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Right? So now, things have calmed down. I've learned a lot with the journey. I transitioned my confidence in the gym, doing things that I couldn't do, and transition that mindset into the job. So now I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do this, because if I can do this in the gym, I can do this at my job. I can make this work. My mindset has changed. My eating habits, I've kind of got a little bit of hold of. I'm more focused, and I just persevered. And that's the thing about this journey. It was about fighting that spark that I once had, because we all have this spark, and then life kind of beats us down a little bit, and we just kind of lose sight of that. But this, for me, was a thing of kind of gaining that back, gaining that hungriness for something more, that need for something. Because I learned in life that there are two people that you deal with: a person that, and this someone told me at my job, a person who wants something and a person that needs something. Never be the person who wants something. Always be the person that needs something. And that need to just want to be the best. Not for to build up my confidence, but to add on to something that I've already developed. And that is what I've learned from my journey, is to persevere and to need. You should need to do this. It shouldn't be a want, or I have to. It's a need. This is a mandatory thing to want to be better in anything, not just fitness. And although I lost some people along the way, I learned that you have to deal with life. Life goes on. Things still have to happen. You still got to do this. You still have to do that. That person would not want you to dwell in their loss, them not being with you, but them to want you to keep going and keep pushing. And that's what I have to say for everybody. It's about perseverance. Fitness is not an easy thing. It takes a lot of persistence. And at first I thought that I was going to be able to just lose weight within 5 months, and that's not how it happened, but I still kept going. Then I thought that maybe I can possibly, what was that saying? Just quickly go cold turkey off my diet, when that necessarily does not happen. It takes a mind to do that. And then I thought that I was only able to go to the gym 3 times because I just wasn't feeling it. But now I'm going more than usual because I'm devoted to this, and this is something that's going to just help transition into every other aspect of life. And if you don't take anything from me from this video, at least take the fact it's all about, again, perseverance. And as I conclude this video, I want you to know that yes, things does happen. There's things you can't change, but there's things you can change. Okay. And that fitness should be used as a way of doing things that you thought you couldn't do, and transition that into your other parts of life for the most part. All right. But that is it for what I have to say. This is James Ansel Jones. All right. And I'll see you next time.